Hello. This is a podcast about gossip, dirty laundry, chitter-chatter and backfence prittle-prattle. In each episode, Joe Wilkinson, David Earl and Poppy the postwoman invite you lot, the lovely listeners, to send in any juicy gossip you might have heard over the years. At the end of each episode, they will choose their favorite bit of gossip and help spread it around the world. So, without further ado, welcome to Golden Muffins. No. Gandhi's motto. No. Gonade magnets. No. Gossipmongers. Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Gossipmongers. Fantastic. Here we go then. Cool stuff. Cool stuff.
Gossip number 1.
This is from Gina. A lady sent one in, that's nice. Dear Gossipmongers, my ridiculous gossip is from my days at primary school in the early 80s. It involves a very lovely yet extremely camp teacher named Mr. Mosley. At the time, the thought of a teacher being camp or gay caused hilarity amongst the kids. Despite Mr. Mosley wearing a wedding ring, something we all thought was to cover up his gayness. The most retold story in the playground was that one lunchtime a kid knocked on the staff room door, and when a teacher opened it, in the background saw Mr. Mosley flouncing around carrying a lady's handbag.
So rubbish.
Hell of a rumour.
So underwhelming. After that, we used to try and search the classroom looking for his handbag. Unsurprisingly, we never found it. However, we did have a little song we used to sing to the tune of Get Back by the Beatles, which went, Mosley is a man who thinks he is a woman, yeah. And even now, whenever I... that's it.
Sing it. Mosley is a man who thinks he is a woman.
Mosley is a man who thinks he is a woman. Thinks he is a woman, yeah. Mosley is a man who thinks he is a woman. Thinks he is a woman,
yeah. I love the yeah.
Handbag, well, where are you?
That's a load of old bollocks.
A camp primary school teacher who inspired an incredible little song in the playground. If you don't mind, I'm going to have a go myself. Mosley is a man who thinks he is a woman, yeah. Handbag, where are you? Yes, not a bad effort that. Handbag.
Gossip number 2.
Right, this is from Lizzie. A family lived across the road from my parents in Blackpool, and their 4-year-old daughter would often hack away at the concrete pavement with an axe.
Again, depressing.
Whilst her mother would sit in their front garden staring into space playing a recorder.
Okay, shouldn't be laughing, but I am.
You rarely saw the dad of the family, as he avoided the public eye as much as possible. When he did go out, he'd wear a long leather coat with the collar up and a pair of shades to conceal his identity. Turns out he thought he was Mick Hucknall.
Holding back the years, thinking of the fear I've had so long.
He was the weirdo of the family.
What a twist.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Amazing.
That's great.
Amazing.
I really
Actually,
like
why
that.
would you add any more detail? Don't over-egg the pudding. It turns out he thought it was Mick Hucknall. The end.
If I lived opposite that family, who would I pay close attention to? The girl with the axe? Her mother with the recorder? Or the mysterious father who believed, deep in his heart, that he was the lead singer of Simply Red? Mick Hucknall no less. Let's keep a close eye on the daddy. See what he gets up to.
Let's keep a close eye on the daddy.
Gossip number 3.
Hi, P, D, and J.
Who's it from?
This is from David W. This piece of gossip comes all the way from an old housemate. He's a police sergeant now. He's a police sergeant now, so I won't divulge his details. During the early 90s, my friend was working nights in a warehouse. One of his work colleagues was one of those shaggy dog story, Billy bullshitting fellas. As my friend and the other staff had largely become immune to his tall tales, when he proclaimed one evening break time that he hadn't passed a stool for a number of weeks, it fell on deaf ears.
Did it?
Yeah.
Not if he'd told that to me. Go on. Bastard.
Flash forward a couple of nights, and after a long break time, the bullshitter couldn't be found. The staff searched high and low, and eventually someone thought that they'd checked the gents. They opened the main door and could hear an extremely faint "help, help" coming from one of the cubicles.
Why faint?
Didn't want to be heard.
As they moved closer, they inquired further into the bullshitter's issue, only to be told through suppressed tears that he was stuck and to phone an ambulance immediately.
Stuck.
Stuck, yeah. The staff member did so, and the paramedics arrived quickly. On arrival, they approached the cubicle door and asked the occupier if he could open the door. He replied that he was stuck and he couldn't. Okay. A screwdriver was found and the lock was opened from the outside. As the door opened, the onlookers were greeted with a sight.
Wait for it.
As the door was opened, onlookers were greeted with a sight that would stay with them forever.
Right.
Mr. Jackanory was bent over double with his hands round his ankles with a concrete-like compacted turd.
What?
The length and circumference of a Pringles tube jutting from his back door.
Fucking hell. That's why he murmured.
Didn't have the energy.
Thanks, little helps.
Flipping hell.
Oh, God.
Fucking
You know,
big long bit of cork.
I was feeling sick already. I'm just going to end up throwing up, aren't I? This
Keep
recording
reading.
session.
I'm loving it.
The fecal matter was so dense that the paramedics had to use a saw to cut it off
Fuck off.
in order to get him in the ambulance.
To get him in the ambulance.
Pringles
Hold it
tube.
like a lolly.
Yeah.
Leave the back door open. Tie a cloth to the end of it, like you do with scaffolding poles.
Oh, God.
I know this is bollocks, but I'm loving it.
Once at the hospital, they were rumoured to have used a drill to break up the remainder of the shit that remained inside him.
Drill.
Yeah.
Like the ones they used to break up the pavement.
Oh, dear.
which was said to be at least the same again as to what was hanging out. So it's horrible.
Whoa.
Two Pringles tubes.
So it was only half sticking out.
Yeah.
2 Pringles tubes,
Yeah,
one
I
in, one
think
out.
so,
Yeah.
Oh,
And they're
I feel
what,
so
a
sick.
good
Foot.
foot long? Yeah, so
They're like that, so
Yeah.
like
2
Yeah.
foot
it's
of...
like half my height. Yeah.
In and out of his arse.
Yeah. Yeah. In and out of his
One of
ass.
my favourite poo stories, this. I haven't had a good poo story for a while.
This is the bar. We've raised the bar.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
listening.
Yeah, and you want to send in a poo story?
Here's the moral of the story. Don't tell lies and eat more fibre.
What's the lies got to do with anything? If it's sticking out of his arse, how's he lying? You've put that in yourself.
David W. That's
Well done,
good.
David.
I like that one.
Thanks,
Yeah.
David.
Let's take a moment to picture what the hell that looked like. A shit, the length of a Pringles tube, was sticking out of his bottom hole. Absolutely rock solid. Like granite. Fucking hell, this podcast depresses me. Once you pop, you can't stop. Once you pop, you can't stop. Let me hear you say. Once you pop, you can't stop.
Gossip number 5.
Right. This is from Chris in Birmingham. Greetings, you wonderful people. My rumour comes from a chap I used to know from high school. We'll call him Petey. I met up with him recently for a swift catch-up pint, and he told me about one of our mutual friends. We'll call him Bigsy. Bigsy invited Petey around to his house one evening so that he could trade football stickers. Presumably it was too loud and intrusive to do it anywhere else. Upon walking in Bigsy's bedroom, Petey was instantly shocked to see a large poster of Britney Spears on the ceiling framed by what looked like human hair.
What?
So I think
yeah.
it had human hair around the edge of the poster on
Right.
the ceiling.
Frame.
Upon
God.
closer inspection, he came to the conclusion it was pubic hair. Lots and lots of pubic hair.
Round a poster.
Yeah,
On the
around the
ceiling.
edges of a poster on the ceiling. He asked Bigsy what the hell he was doing with so much pubic hair. To which Bigsy replied, "It's just a hobby I have." "Where did you get so much of it?" Petey asked. "It clogs up the bath plug and I dry it out on the radiator."
Oh, God.
He still lived with his family at the time, so one can only assume that he was giving himself a sticky belly every night while staring at the large poster of Britney Spears framed with his family's matted, dried pubic hair.
Oh, it's all his family's pubic hair.
God.
Fucking hell.
What a shrine. on
Oh, I
the ceiling,
didn't think
yeah.
I'd hear this today.
Snip your pubic hair, dry your pubic hair, glue your pubic hair around your favorite sexy poster. Why? 'Cause fucking Bigsy recommends it. Snip your pubic hair, dry your pubic hair, glue your pubic hair around your favorite sexy poster. 'Cause fucking Bigsy recommends it.
Gossip number 6.
This is a pretty good start.
Who's it from?
Anonymous. My friend once fucked a house.
A house.
Wow.
Wow.
Once upon a time, back in the 90s, my friend, let's call him Don, lived in a village near Bridgewater in Somerset. He had a penchant for indulging in all-night masturbation marathons while off his face on methamphetamine.
Oh, God.
Apparently, these drug-fueled wankathons could go on for 20 hours or longer. Various inanimate objects have been dragged into these sordid sessions for use as either receptacles or penetrators, including a Hoover, a vase lined with plasticine,
Oh,
Lined
inventive.
with plasters.
a can of hairspray, drumsticks, both chicken and actual stick for drum,
Both versions.
Don would proudly boast of his late night exploits to the point you were very wary of touching any of the objects in his house. Anyway, towards the end of one session, my friend took a fancy to the letter slot in his front door. It was lined with nylon brushes.
Some of them are. They are, yeah, they are.
Right, I'll have some of that, Don thought, and proceeded to give the front door a prolonged seeing to.
Oh my God. What, from the outside?
Imagine seeing that fucking house. I suppose that is a house's vagina, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah. It's at the front.
Yeah. There he was, standing naked in his hall for an hour or so. Oh, for a
Oh, it's on the inside.
So the
Oh,
willy
so
kept
you
coming
see
out.
it. God.
Kept coming out of the
He
hole.
would have had to hold the outer bit up with his fingers, surely.
Yeah.
Dear.
That's going to be painful, yeah.
There he was, standing naked in his hall for an hour or so, pumping away at the letterbox as dawn broke. Don was so lost in his speed-addled reverie that he was taken by surprise with the sound of someone swearing and footsteps down his front path. A quick look through the peephole in his front door revealed the postman walking briskly away through Don's front gate, having dropped Don's mail on the doorstep. The mood ruined, Don retired to bed and hid under the duvet,
Oh, you ruined it, that
fully
postman.
expecting the old Bill to burst in and arrest him. But thankfully, that didn't happen.
I don't know if that's the best thing that could have happened. I think he could have done with a bit of a telling off. To be honest.
Desperate man from Somerset fucks his house. He gets fed up with fucking his Hoover and his kettle and his slippers and his plug hole and his clarinet and his gutter and his DVD machine and his soup maker and his microwave or whatever else this bloody weirdo attempted to fuck. And so he chose to penetrate his letterbox, and in doing so traumatized his friendly postman. That's Somerset for you, I suppose. Fuck the house. Fuck the house. Fuck the house. Fuck the house. Find your letterbox. And fuck your house. Fuck the house. Fuck the house. Fuck the house. Fuck the house. Find your letterbox. And fuck your house.
Gossip number 7. Celebrity.
Kiri Pritchard MacLean.
Hello, Gossipmongers. I really enjoy your podcast, so I thought I would tell you about the gossip that happened in my town. So there was a guy who went to my primary school, and it was a bit odd. Wore his trousers a little high, held hands with his mum way too late, that kind of guy. We went to separate secondary schools. He went to a private school that happened to also be run by nuns, and rumour had it he was quite against wanking. That was the rumour. So that was just sort of the vibe that was going around. Anyway, years later, I'm on a school bus on the way home, and the talk of the 62 bus was the fact that said boy had been playing football, and he had either had a football kicked towards his groin or had sort of glanced off a goalpost. There's different sides of this story. Whatever had happened is it had nudged a testicle and caused them to explode in his trousers, because he'd never masturbated, and he was just sort of lying on the floor of the school field, crying, covered in his own jizz. Thanks for the podcast.
If you would like to send in a bit of unsubstantiated gossip, then please email gossipmongers@yahoo.com. All names will be changed to protect the innocent.
Tonight I'm going to talk about something that all of us have done. Gossiping. 1 Peter chapter 4 verse 15 says, "But let none of you suffer as a busybody in other men's matters." What's a busybody? A gossiper or a blabbermouth. What's so bad about some harmless gossip? More like harmful. Okay.
Gossip number 8.
Okay, this is from Big Paul in Wales. That's all one word. Big Paul in Wales.
Can't be bothered.
Might be Big Pauline Wales.
Yeah. It could actually.
Oh, is it? Is it big? This is from Big Pauline Wales.
Yeah. Haven't seen a picture of the new shaped shampoo bottles that are about to hit the shops.
Yeah.
Such a good start.
Such a good start.
Oh yeah, we've all seen those. What are your thoughts on them, Paul?
Or Pauline.
The guy who delivers the evening paper told me that the other day he was thinking of advertising to collect all the empties from around here to recycle them into affordable
dildos.
Yeah, into affordable dildos. Spelt wrong.
Are they not affordable at the moment?
It's quite get pricey, I suppose. Then into affordable dildos by half.
The ones you want to do.
The one with the engine on the back.
Well, you say this, you know.
Yeah.
This sounds like a good idea. Into affordable dildos, which is spelt really wrong and it's bothering me, by half filling them with ball bearings and hand cream. Why? It's bothering me.
Why?
Why?
What?
Why?
That's how he makes dildos. Leave the man alone. You do it your way. He does it his.
I did point out that ball bearings are not cheap. I love this conversation they're having.
Nor's hand cream.
Is this with the postman she's been chatting to?
It's not Pauline.
Is it not Pauline?
I doubt it.
Paulin. Who's called Paulin?
Paul in Wales.
Oh, yeah.
Just didn't put a space between.
Oh, yeah.
Give the guy a break. His space bar's not working.
Big Paul in Wales.
Big Paul in Wales.
That's her surname. Big lady called Pauline Wales. Where's she from?
I did point out that ball bearings are not cheap, but he assured me that he has sourced a supplier from the bicycle trade. This does sound quite good, actually. He reckons they'll retail for about £3 each.
Got you thinking, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, you've got his email.
Yeah, Big Paul in Wales. Dildos, yeah.
You know.
Maybe
what
he
is
can
the shape of
sponsor
them,
us or
the
something.
new ones, anyway?
What, the new dildos?
Maybe he could sponsor us.
Yeah. Why not?
No, but what is the shape of the bottles then?
The
They look
bottles,
like
new
penises.
shaped shampoo bottles.
Well, because they haven't hit the shelves yet.
The new
They're about
shape.
to hit the
I
shop.
think you'll know them because they'll have a massive bell end on the top.
God, I'm tired.
I'm tired of this podcast. I don't want anything else about cocks.
Oh my God.
I'm just like, oh. Is this
like
with
this
the
one.
with the deliverer? Oh right, okay, with the postman. So
it's
they're
him
having a conversation, yeah.
on the front step.
Yeah.
Have you seen those new shampoo bottles about to hit the shelves?
Oh, the ones that are about to hit the shelves?
Yeah, what? Just hear me out, hear me out. If you get hold of a load of ball bearings...
They're pricey.
Oh, they
They're not cheap.
I've got a sauce in the bite tray, mate.
God.
He reckons they'll retail at about £3 each.
Yeah.
Does he?
Four if he has to take the labels off.
What?
Yeah, for the shampoo bottles. Like, he hasn't come up with a brand name yet, but is playing with the moniker Wash and Come. Makes sense.
He was
Makes
working
sense.
up to that punchline. That's what the rumour was for.
Wash and Come.
Yeah, I'm not being funny. It's got to sound like go.
That
Don't
was
just go
Come, that's good.
That's from Big
It's not
Paul.
good,
and
It's
is
the
it?
opposite of go.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
You wake up.
I thought he was trying to rhyme or something.
Yeah, I did. All right, yeah, well done.
Great joke.
Wash and come, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, was it all for that?
Yeah, I think so.
So this bloke had a punchline up his sleeve and he thought he'd trick us into believing some bloke in Wales wanted to turn shampoo bottles into dildos. Just so he could get his bloody punchline onto a podcast. Well, you did it. You did trick us. You silly, 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 silly sausage. You silly, 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 silly sausage. You silly, 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 silly sausage. You silly, 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 silly sausage.
Joe, Poppy and David will now choose their favourite rumour.
Okay, so this is our top 5 from the episode. We've got to choose our favourite for Poppy's shout out the window. Number 1 is Mr. Pringle arsehole.
2 Pringle pots.
Yeah.
Number 2, my friend fucked a house.
Yeah.
Number 3, wash and cum.
Yeah.
Wash and come.
Number 4, Mosley is a woman who thinks he is a woman, or something like that. Mosley is a teacher who thinks he's a woman.
Yeah.
And number 5, Dad thought he was Mick Hucknall.
Short and sweet, that one.
God, yeah. Can't
Poppy?
remember any of them. Do you know what you're gonna?
Yeah, I'm thinking wash and come.
Do you reckon?
I do like Mick Hucknall, though.
I
weirdly.
do.
But it's short. I don't know how you're going to explain
Well, wash
that.
and come is really short. I can't really remember the Mick Hucknall one.
Well, that makes me want to do that one. Then. David?
Have you chosen?
I think I'm going to go wash and come, or no, yeah, wash and come.
Poppy?
Wash and come,
I think I'll go wash and cum.
Okay, all right.
I wish you would.
Right, Poppy, if you want to open the window.
Okay.
Is there a crowd out
So
today?
Poppy's now going to shout out.
What's the crowd like outside?
40, 50.
How is it? It's smaller than
50.
last week.
Right,
Not a good sign.
tell them all about wash and cum.
You'd wave at them for a start.
Hello. So there's a postman delivering stuff. He says that there's a new shampoo bottle that would be it's got a good shape to it for a dildo. He thinks if he puts some ball bearings in and some hand cream, he can sell them for £3.
I think she's nailed it, to be honest with you. That's the most concise,
I remember
beautifully concise.
every bit of that.
You got a standing ovation there, Poppy.
Anything
guys.
else to tell them?
Just
Oh yeah, they're called Wash and Cum.
oh, I nearly forgot that bit, didn't you? I do like how you shut the window afterwards.
I'm done.
Slammed it shut.
Oh dear.
I remembered
alright.
every bit of that.
Yeah, that's the first time.
Yeah.
Great.
Actually remembered it. To be fair, it was only a few minutes ago. Right, shall we head off?
Do you want to see us out?
From us all at Gossipmongers.
As we say on
Gossipmongers.
As we say. Goodbye.
Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Yeah, just whatever.
Fuck off.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Fuck off.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to this podcast. Remember, if you have any juicy gossip, then you know where to send it. Gossipmongers@yahoo.com. Until the next time, goodbye. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Bye for now. Listening to this podcast. Have a lovely time. If you have any juicy gossip, then you know where to send. See you soon. Gossipmongers@yahoo.com. Until the next time, goodbye.